Joseph, this is your inaugural moment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts here?
So, one of the things that I obviously the Medicare for All thing has been something that, as you said, polls very highly. And there's so many things that people want. People want Medicare. People want to be healthy. People want to make sure that they go to the doctor and they're not getting charged crazy amounts and empty out their bank accounts just to stay alive. Like, who wants to do that, right? And I've actually been, a personal story, I've actually been in a situation where maybe about 5 years ago, I was unemployed. And one of the things is that I remember not having medical insurance, having a back problem, once again, get well tie, because I remember that back problem. It sucked. And I couldn't go to the doctor. I couldn't go, and I didn't want to go to the doctor, so I did the home remedies, back and, massage, muscle rubs and everything, and finally had to go to the doctor, $1,000 that I didn't have at the time. Medicare for All, it's a nice idea. And here's the thing that I might get reamed on. The one concern that I have when Bernie Sanders talks about it and when Elizabeth Warren flip-flops, because honestly, she's flip-flopping. And for me as a candidate, that makes me yellow alert, yellow flag. Why are you saying one thing 1 minute and the next thing the next minute? Is it because somebody changed their mind? And if somebody changed their mind, I'd like to know your thought process. It's okay to change your mind, but I want to know where that changing of the mind comes from. And then now I'm going to ask even further, what are the details of your plan? Because you're saying 1 minute one thing, the next minute the next thing. And the thing about the one thing that I cause for pause with the Medicare for All is how much is it going to cost and who is paying for it? Because we all pay taxes, we all do things that, unfortunately taxes are a part of our life. And what happens if we go from paying 35, 38% to 60% taxes because there's a $55 trillion bill that comes along with this? And my thing is, I'm open for that. Once again, open-minded, open for the Medicare for All. One, I want to know how much it's going to cost. And two, I want a candidate to say something and stick to it. And right now, in those videos, she didn't stick to it. There's 3 separate videos where she flip-flops and does this. Elizabeth Warren is I don't think she's like you. I don't think she's as bad as Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton is the most Democratic Republican ever. And
Joe Biden's got
they're up there. They're like right there. But the thing is that I do wonder, and I say to myself constantly, like, are any of you gonna say something and stick to your beliefs and what you want to do, and not like just turn tail and run the minute your polling numbers aren't looking good and somebody's saying no, that's horrible? Like, when is that going to happen? Are you going to take a stand? So that's definitely my position.
So part of why I hired Joseph, he's got a lot of technical experience too, which is important, was I think it would be appealing to have kind of the edumacation live on air of he's not like neoliberal establishment. He's just buys into like the MSNBC talking points. So we're going to educate him.
Yes, please.
I'm going to educate him live on the air. So first of all, it's so cute that you think politicians actually like genuinely evolve.
None of them do.
Or change their minds, because you said it's fine to change your mind, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, none of them change their mind like ever based on, come to Jesus.
Yes, true.
Very rarely.
I believe that.
Usually it's the donors, this and that. So that's number one.
Yep.
Number two, the whole how you going to pay for it, it's not just a Republican talking point, it's an insurance industry talking point. So let me explain how it works in every country.
Yes, please
here.
do.
So right now, you have a tax.
Yeah.
You already have taxes on healthcare. You know what those taxes are?
That would be Medicare and
co-pays.
Co-pays,
deductibles.
Oh God.
Co-insurance,
which they cloud in that vernaculum that nobody understands.
So that's a tax. You also more and more, because there's no price controls on healthcare, because all of these politicians are bought off by big pharma and this and that. What you have is people are having to pay more and more out of their paycheck for their healthcare.
Yeah.
And every single year, I'm rushing to do everything I need to do because January 1st the deductible resets, and you got to pay just. Even on Obamacare, affordable, you got to pay in some cases $2,000-$3,000 deductibles.
I remember that.
So you already have a significant tax, and that tax is not for the actual service. That tax, that co-insurance, co-pays, that's just going into the CEO of Pfizer and all these their pockets.
Which is horrible, and that's the thing that I genuinely believe that, and I don't know if this is possible, and this is something that I've genuinely believed for a long time. But when you it is an inherent conflict of interest when you have big pharmaceutical companies that are involved in our medical insurance. Like, so you're telling me that they're going to want us to get healthy? If we all get healthy, they don't make money. I mean,
Right.
that's just common sense. So I definitely, private companies should not be anywhere near medical insurance.
So the bottom line is,
Yeah.
what Bernie Sanders, and it's not just Bernie Sanders, we're talking healthcare experts, National Nurses Union,
Yeah.
many doctors support Medicare for all. They're saying, like every other country, you pay a little bit more in taxes, not 60%. That's
No. That was extremities. Yeah, that was
you
extremities.
pay a little bit more in taxes, but guess what? That bump in your taxes, all this other stuff disappears. Copays, deductibles, co-insurance, hidden costs, bills after a surgery, and the amount you save from those costs going away are much greater than this modest tax increase. So in fact, what you're getting, and frankly, I've said this, I don't think Bernie Sanders really explains it well. Yeah. I think his campaign manager explains it better than Bernie. You're not just, he says the American people end up with a better deal. No, you're getting a tax cut with Medicare for all. Because let's say, and I've used this example, and we could get a whiteboard, or I might make you make a graphic.
Yeah.
On one hand,
infographic.
On one hand,
Yeah.
okay, let's say you pay the average family right now is paying $23,000 a year on health care for a family of four, I think it is.
Yeah.
You got $23,000. Let's say your taxes go up per year $10,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
Which is less? 10,000 or
I'm gonna pay the 10,000.
Right.
That's gonna be better.
So
yeah.
the reason, and this every other country has this.
Yeah,
every
I
other
know,
country.
and that's the thing. I know people who are from Canada. I know people who live in, I believe Germany has something similar to it, and they're doing pretty okay. I went to Munich a few years ago, and it was a country that you didn't get, like, people were not stressed about healthcare and basic little issues that they had more complicated problems. They're also third or fourth best economic country in the world, so they're doing something right.
But also, there's a different argument for it. And Elizabeth Warren could say all she wants, healthcare is a right, healthcare is a right, but she's not talking like it's a right because she's talking out of two sides of her mouth, where there's options and there's this. And this is why, many reasons I don't like Joe Biden, why Joe Biden is intolerable to me. We as a society have been programmed and brainwashed, the majority of voters, that you should have to pay for healthcare. Healthcare in most countries is not viewed as a commodity. It's viewed as a basic part of what your government does for you.
Yep.
So in other countries, just because you have universal healthcare, there are some costs associated. Like Bernie's Medicare for All plan, you still would have to pay for some medications, but it's capped at $200 a year.
Yeah.
All these other, like, Biden is talking about the right to affordable health care. Well, what's affordable to one person is bankruptcy for another. So Bernie Sanders, what has been revolutionary about him, he's changed the discussion away from the dollars and cents and more about the morality. Healthcare, nor should education be a commodity. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.